What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new here. To be honest, you probably are new here because I've only been doing BookTube for like just over a month. Because of that, I actually thought today would be the perfect time to do the BookTok newbie challenge tag, which I'd recently seen a few people do and thought that sounds like the perfect introduction so you can get to know me and what my channel is hopefully going to be about. If it does sound like my book recs and my channel is for you, then I hope you'll subscribe and like and share, and I hope you'll stick around and hopefully enjoy the content that I am going to do. Oh my goodness, look at these rainbows. It's so sunny. I have a sun catcher on my window that I made a few years ago that says, "Bella, where the hell have you been, loca?" So that's why my room casts rainbows everywhere. I love it. It makes me so happy in the sun. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so the first question is, why did you start this channel? And there's actually a few reasons. I first made this channel like a year ago. I just didn't post anything on it, and that reason was because I always felt like I was better suited to long form content. If you don't know, I have been doing BookTok for the last 3 years, so I do already have a little small community over there that I really love, and I do love BookTok as a platform, but sometimes I feel like I'm better suited to long form content because I really like to do long in-depth reviews and really like get into the nitty-gritty and evaluate a book's strengths and weaknesses. So I do think YouTube might be a slightly better choice for me. And then my second reason is in January, when everything was a little bit unsure with the US and where BookTok was going to go and where TikTok was going to go as an app for them, a lot of my American mutuals and friends were creating YouTube profiles so that they could, still connect with their audience. And I wanted to stay connected with my American mutuals and friends. So I quickly decided to actually finally start YouTube properly and start putting an effort into some content on there. And then another reason is I didn't actually know that BookTube even existed really until I had already started BookTok, which really surprises me because when I was a teenager, I loved YouTube. All I did through my teen years, right up to when I was at university, was watch makeup bloggers on YouTube, but I never stumbled upon the book community somehow. And I was a lifelong reader, so it's not like I just didn't even get into reading until BookTok. But anyway, once I found that there was a thriving community on here, I became really interested in also joining it. Question number 2, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? To be honest, I feel like I'm so late to BookTube that there's probably so many people already doing exactly what I'm going to be doing. It's a very oversaturated market, but obviously each of our personalities are unique, and that's what will make my channel unique. I have so many interests as well outside of books. I love gaming, cozy gaming like Sims and Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley and things like that. I love to draw and paint and colour. I've recently got into those like adult colouring books, and I keep doing little TikToks of vlogs of me doing those. In general, I love to vlog, so I will try and do some proper vlogs on here as well at some point. And then I am also a person of colour and disabled. Technically, I have a lot of health conditions, which is how I got into reading in the first place, because it's a very easy indoor introverted hobby that you can do even when you don't feel very well. So I definitely try and put some of those experiences and communities into my book recs. I definitely try to give diverse book recs where I can and talk about those things. I also love to do like little movie challenges, or if you follow my Bookstagram, I love to do those like where my law started trends, and so I will be doing fun type of videos like those as well if that's something you're interested in. Okay, question number 3. What are you most excited about for this channel? I think I'm just most excited about creating another community. So like one of the best things about TikTok is how many actual like best friends I've made from it. So many friends who I see weekly, monthly, talk to them every day. I've been to their weddings, it's not just a case of meeting up every so often and going book shopping. There is actually like fully fleshed out friendships that are as important to me as the people I've known through school or university, or it's just they are actual best friends at this point. So I'm hopeful that I make some connections like that through BookTube as well. And I'm also just so excited to be able to like share book recs that hopefully reach a new audience. I love sharing underrated reads, and I am making it my mission this year to try and find some underrated reads and get back into reading indie authors as well. So hopefully I can give you some books that you've heard less about. Question 4, why do you love reading? Obviously, I already mentioned that I fell into reading. Well, actually, that's not strictly true. I've always been a reader because both my parents are and a lot of my other family members too. But I became even more of a reader through my teenage years because my health was worsening. So I always loved it because it was something I could do no matter what. But the actual hobby in itself, I just love how you can experience different cultures, different personality types, like things that are so far removed from your reality, and you can completely disassociate from reality altogether and escape into a fantasy, which is one of my, if not my favorite genre. Books have taught me so much, like so much. I couldn't even begin to just articulate it in a single video. So I love them because of that, for sure. Question 5. What book series or book got you into reading or back into reading? Like I said, I've been a lifelong reader. My mum and dad used to read to me when I was a kid. My dad actually read the first 4 Harry Potter books out loud to me. I don't support J.K. Rowling anymore, so you'll probably rarely hear me talk about the Harry Potter series. I will talk about Hermione fanfics instead, because that's how I choose to stay connected to that world that I once loved so much. But there was actually a very small time frame where it's not that I wasn't reading, it's that I was having trouble transitioning from teenage to adult reading. And once I got a Kindle, I was really struggling to find the types of books I liked on Kindle because Amazon was just recommending me, thrillers and the bestsellers, which I was reading and enjoying, but I hadn't found like that adult series that I felt the same about as I had with YA series like Twilight or Vampire Academy or House of Night. So the first series that I actually found that was kind of like those was actually Zodiac Academy. And like the first couple of books I hate read because as much as I love those books, the writing is terrible. I can fully agree with that. They're kind of like really bad addictive reality TV. But the characters are amazing and they are so funny and the romance is great. So I saw those books and that is what got me into my fully like reading 50 books a year. And then the next year I read 140 books, and then it's kind of spiraled from there and begun my whole BookTok and BookTube journey. So that's the series I definitely credit to this journey that I'm on right now. Question number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? This is a hard one because, like I said, I'm really new to BookTube, even in the sense of watching it. So a lot of the booktubers I do watch currently are people I'm mutuals with and know from BookTok, and I can already ask them anything that I want. So I don't actually know. Maybe you guys should drop me a comment below of your all-time favorite booktubers and what questions you would ask them, and I will go and look at those people and subscribe to their accounts so I can catch up on the BookTube space. What challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome when it comes to starting a BookTube channel? I think for me it will be a case of like creating videos that are as creative as I want them to be. I'm such a perfectionist. I love editing, I love filming, I love photography. I did an art and design BTech when I was younger, so anything in the art and design realm I absolutely love. And I think my biggest challenge will be having the time to do things to the level that I want to do them, because I don't have a lot of time to film long form content on top of doing my short form content and working a self-employed job. But hopefully the more I do it, the quicker I'll get and the better software I'll get, which will also make it more efficient and better quality as well. So fingers crossed I can give you this something so high quality that you won't be able to look away. Question number 8. When did you start reading? Again, I've already answered this. I've read as long as I can remember, because even before I could physically read, my parents would read to me. So I distinctly remember my mum reading me We're Going on a Bear Hunt over and over again, and The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and the Elmo books. Does anyone remember Elmo, the little patchwork elephant? If you're in the UK, drop me a comment if you remember those. But then I moved into childhood and I had every single Jacqueline Wilson book that I could get my hands on, because I used to steal my sisters and read those and then buy the new releases when they came out. And I also then moved into like the series of Unfortunate Events. Oh, I loved those books. Kathy Cassidy books. Does anyone remember those? You had like Indigo Blue, Dizzy. Oh, I can still remember everything about those 2 books. I reread them so many times. Then we got to the teenage years and the vampire renaissance begun, and that is where I became like fully addicted into sort of paranormal romance and fantasy and things like that, urban fantasy. So I had like the whole Vampire Academy series, the whole Twilight series, the whole House of Night series, the Hush Hush series, the Fallen series, Vampire Diaries, the Night World series, like literally anything like that I was obsessed with. And I used to just like beg my mum and dad to get me every new release in these series. And they would, because they were readers too, so they understood the pain, you know, of like having to wait for a book and then immediately wanting it, even if it's a hardback. But yeah, I've basically read as long as I can remember. I never really stopped. There's just been times where I've read less, or what I've read hasn't been as satisfying, but I have always consistently read throughout my life. As you can tell, I've got a very full bookshelf, and then I also, which you can't see, but up here, over here, is some shelves, floating shelves with books on. And then on the other side of the room, I have a TBR cart that is overloaded. And I also have over 500 books in my family home where I grew up that I need to take away soon before my mum gets fed up with me and find somewhere to put them. But I'm hoping to keep them until I can buy a house that has a dedicated office library room. We can wish, we can dream, right? Question 9. Where do you read? I read in one of 2 places, either my bed at night or stretched out on the sofa under a blankie. There has never been a person who loves a blanket, a cozy pajama, a onesie, an oodie, anything like that more than me. I live in pajamas, I live in a blanket. It can be like 15, 16 degrees outside and I'm still dressed like it's freezing cold, because I just love the snuggly feelings. So I will always try and read in very snuggly, relaxed, cozy places. But generally speaking, I can pretty much read anywhere. Like I have the Kindle app on my phone. If I'm just queuing for a while to get a coffee or something, I'll pull it up and read. I'll read on public transport, you know, anywhere that I get the chance, basically. And the final question, question number 10, is what kind of books do you read? And I feel like this is going to take me the longest to answer, because the answer is actually a bit of everything, but I am still quite specific. So if it has some form of romance, I'm going to love it. I definitely love things with a romance plot, whether it is actually the contemporary romance genre or fantasy that has romance in it, or something that has a super small romance subplot in like a sci-fi book. Like, if there is characters in a romance, I want to read it. Some of my favourites, I've got the Magnolia Park series here, love those. I've got Ali Hazelwood's books here, love her. Emily Henry is probably my favourite romance author. I have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. You can't see those, but they're up here. And then, you know, just like any contemporary romance, Elle Kennedy. I love Lila Sage. Oh my God, I love Lila Sage. I'm so sad that I have finished the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I love Tia Williams, the author of 7 Days in June. Yeah, I mean, my floating shelves are pretty much all my contemporary romance, so that's definitely something. And then I love anything that is fantasy and escapism and different realities with magic. So, like I said, Zodiac Academy, but also like more high fantasy as well. Sword of Kaigan, Blood over Brighthaven, the Poppy War series. I love anything like that. Anything that is high stakes, fully fleshed out world building, and has a historical element or embeds like different political themes, I love. I will eat that up. Then down here, this whole section here is different special editions of the Cruel Prince series. I love those so much. I know a lot of people don't. I feel like the people that don't like them just don't enjoy them because they were expecting more enemies to lovers, but there's actually like 90% political intrigue, but that works for me. And then here I have my special editions of Vampire Academy, which I loved when I was a teenager. Recently did a reread, still really enjoyed them. I gave books 4, 5, 6, still a 5-star on reread. So, and then I have a big Adrienne Young collection. She is one of my new all-time favourite authors. The Unmaking of June Farrow, Spells for Forgetting, and A Sea of Unspoken Things were all 6-star reads for me. Just something about the way she writes, I find it so beautiful. I actually saw a lot of negative reviews for A Sea of Unspoken Things, saying that the writing was too descriptive and like people got sick of that. I eat it up. I never get sick of how she writes like poetry, and it's so introspective. So she is a big one for me. But then completely on a different hand, I also do really enjoy literary fiction and contemporary fiction sometimes. My actual all-time favourite author is Sally Rooney, who is of course nothing like Zodiac Academy or cowboy romance books, you know, but Intermezzo was my favourite book of last year. I love Normal People. That is my favourite book of all time. And yeah, I really like anything that has in-depth characters who are so interesting to read about, and she does that really well. But if I had to sum up, I would say that the main things I read are contemporary romance, romantic fantasy, and fantasy. Those are the 3 genres that you'll find me talking about the most. But I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit, and I really hope you'll stick around and subscribe. I am so excited to be here, so excited to see the rest of BookTube's content and the amazing ideas that people come up with, and I'm so excited to get amazing book recs too. I assume that there is so much more diversity here rather than on BookTok, where it can be consistently the same books hyped. So I'm super excited about that. There is a new video on my channel every single Monday evening, and so you'll see me again next week. I hope you will stick around. Thank you so much for joining me today. Love you. Bye.